So bear with me everyone, I'm Musky. I play games on YouTube and Twitch, and I used to do anime reviews. Yeah, about that. Let's just leave that in the past, shall we? Today I'm here to give you all the good meat and potatoes upon Max Payne. I'll divide the review into 3 parts. First will be the story, which I need to mention whenever I play a game unless and until it's a story-based game. Second will be graphic and voice acting, which is kinda important for me, but the third element is the most important element, and that's gameplay, because obviously I play a game, I want to have fun playing a game. Alright, so let's begin with the story. It's quite a simple story. Max Payne is a dark and gritty story about a cop who has just lost his wife and unborn child to a few drug addicts who were high on this newly addicting drug called Valkyrie, apparently. And yeah, don't take my words for granted when it comes to story. I don't pay attention to those things when I'm playing a game, which I already explained. So we are put into our protagonist Max Payne's shoes. I don't know how I'll say that, but hey. But yeah, we're put into Max Payne's shoes, and we have to guide our player, that's Max Payne, to his revenge. That's just basis of the story, which goes in a very weird direction where he falls in love with Lisa and yada yada yada. We'll talk about that in a second. Anyways, this is the first game, and the first game only has like a very minuscule portion of Lisa, and that's about it. Yes, that's the basis of the story. I won't give you any story spoilers on the story, because why would I? And I'm keeping this review short and beautiful because you guys want it like that, don't you? That's the reason why I came here. Alright, just saying. Anyways, so that was basically the story. I gave you the basis of the story. You guys can check out the story for yourself. It's a very cliche story, and yeah, that's basically it. Let's talk about graphic and voice acting. Max Payne has a decent amount of good voice acting. I just want to get this out of the way, so I'm just gonna say it. Fucking Max Payne has the best fucking smirk to exist. Alright, there, I said it. Haters can hate, lovers can love. But for real now, the graphics definitely didn't age well in terms of newer games, because it feels very dull and the city feels like it has no life at all. I'm pretty sure when the game actually released back in 2001, this graphics were pretty decent, honestly. But if you compare games to newer titles with the worst possible graphics, it looks pretty dull, let's be honest. The one redeeming quality when it comes to graphical design in this game is the cutscene. The cutscenes play out in a comic strip, which I personally love. I definitely believe that the cutscenes give Max the character he needs and makes him look fine in comparison to that daddy smirk he always had. I also think that voicing in this game gave a real life to the characters, especially during the comic strip. The voice acting made me feel like I'm watching an old action cartoon, and it was pretty decent, honestly. All that said, this department was pretty dull in comparison to what the story was, because honestly, when it comes to graphics and voice acting, the graphics fall back way too short in comparison to voice acting, which saves the game by a million. And in comparison to what the story, how the story pans out and everything, the graphics really don't hold up with that. I definitely think that the graphic department fell very short in comparison to the other departments, and we'll get to the gameplay department right after this. I definitely feel that the story was very cliche. It had its fun moment, and it had its own pretty dark and gritty scenes during the comic portion of the game. But yeah, that's about all I can say about it. But yeah, I'm more of a gameplay guy, alright? I don't pay attention much to the story. I don't pay attention much to the graphics or voice acting. That if the gameplay is fun, the game is fun for me. If the gameplay is not fun, the game is not fun for me. So let's get to the most important part of the game. That is the game. To begin with, there are 4 difficulties: Fugitive, Hardboiled, Dead on Arrival, New York Time. Fugitive is basically the normal mode of the game. You have to finish the game to unlock the other. Hardboiled and Dead on Arrival each increase the difficulty respectively. Max has less health, he regains health slower. Auto aiming is not useful at all, or just completely goes away, and enemies are tougher in these. New York Minute mode is like a speed run. Each map begins with a certain amount of time, and you have to complete that level in that certain amount of time. Killing enemies will increase the time you have. Looking at the graphic novel will pause the time, and using bullet time will slow it down. I played and completed the game on Fugitive mode. I recommend you do not play the other difficulty if you want to maintain your sanity. I know there's some people who are crazy enough to do that, and they were really good at that, but I am not, and I'm good with just Fugitive. It's pretty tough, alright? So gameplay wise, I want to clear one misconception. There's a feature in the game called bullet time. It slows down while you shoot your bullet. A lot of people believe that Max Payne was the first game to do it. People who think that, you're wrong. Totally wrong, actually. It was a game called Requiem Avenged Angel. A pretty underrated FPS game, which even I have not played, but I have heard good things about it. But that's not the point. The point is, Max Payne did make bullet time famous, but it was never the game that introduced it. Now that's out of the way. Let's continue talking about the game. And it's hard. Max Payne is one fucking hard game. You have to save your ass every 5 seconds. Be sure to click that F5 button at every single moment, or else you will be dead and the game will start you at the very beginning of the stage. This happened to me a lot, where I did not save at the right time and I had to redo a whole stage over and over and over again. And this game does not hold your hand for it. When I say it, I mean it. You're straight away given a gun to fight and that's about it. You're supposed to find your own way, figure out a way to deal with enemy, fight the boss without knowing anything about what you need to do about that. Sometimes I do feel like games should be more like this, but other times I feel like, nah man, that's too much. And there's another toughie if that wasn't enough. You get very limited pills to heal yourself, and pills only do so much for you. You get hit in the head, almost more than half your HP is gone and you're almost dead. It also takes time for you to recover. If you take a tiny bit of hit while you're recovering, you'll keep some of the damage you had taken previously before taking the pill. Another mechanic one should be careful about is jumping from one, even a little bit higher height can be fatal. But I do like one thing about old game. They give a massive arsenal of weapon choices for us. Max Payne gives us a massive amount of weapon choices, from dual-wielding pistols to controlling a fucking rapid shotgun which works like an assault rifle. Definitely the best pistol is Deagle in this game, but you can't dual-wield it and it's kinda sad. But you'll get it in the second game. Then you also have the shotgun and pump shorty, which both are trash late game. But those two are your early game weapon. You got the M11, which is a good submachine gun, but they run out of bullets so quickly you don't even realize. You have the M4 or Colt assault rifle, as the game loves to call it, which definitely in my opinion is the second best weapon in the whole game. The gun is pretty accurate and can pretty much kill enemies instantly. There's also the sniper rifle, which literally one-shots any enemy. You can literally kill anyone with a single sniper bullet, no matter where you hit them, and it's definitely a broken gun. But the bullets for gun are very rare and you'll need to conserve it for boss fights, because sniper rifles do a massive amount of damage to all enemies. There's also a grenade launcher grenade, which were literally my worst enemy. And by worst enemy, I mean it always was me who died from both of them, not the enemies. I don't know, man. Maybe I'm just not good at using them or something. You also have the jackhammer. Now this shit, it's as broken as my income. The jackhammer is supposed to be a shorty, but you could say it's not a shorty because it doesn't work like one. And you can also shoot it from range and it literally kills enemy in one or shot. And isn't my gun the best weapon? All the weapons aside though, I do think the gameplay is pretty fun, except for a few levels. I believe the last few levels felt rushed, which was a totally opposite problem of the second game, but that will be a topic for another day. For now we are done. I'm asking once again, taking my leave. Until then, peace out.